Now look, here's the deal. Before we get started, I know that you don't know who I am. I can just some guy on the internet, and maybe everything I say is going to suck and you won't like it, and you'll regret not only watching this video, but anything I ever do. I understand. So, since that's possible, let's do something fun. If you'll subscribe to my channel, I will send you one of these. This is a 2022 Bowman University Casey Thompson rookie card. So if you'll subscribe to the channel and email me your mailing address, at the minimum, even if this video is no good, even if that's true, well, when Casey Thompson goes off this year, which I think he will, and somewhere down the road when your kids or grandkids are rummaging through your attic when you're long gone, they'll find this card, and they'll be glad they did, and they'll be glad you subscribed to this channel, because this is going to be worth an awful lot of money. And now for the video. Well, it's not much of a hot take to say that Scott Frost should be fired. Even Scott Frost apologists now are coming around to the idea that maybe Scott Frost isn't cut out for this job. But here we go in 2022, and it's his team, his recruits, his transfers, his coaching staff, his everything. So if Scott Frost is going to get fired this year, I think we can all say it's because of Scott Frost. And so that's why I want to give you the top 5 reasons why Scott Frost should be fired, and in my next video, I'll share with you how he can keep his job. But for this video, it's 5 reasons why Scott Frost needs to be let go. Number 1, Joe Burrow. Back in 2018, Scott Frost asked, do you think that Joe Burrow is better than what we already have? Now, history will reflect something that, of course, is hindsight. But if you're a coach and if you're Scott Frost and you're supposed to be a recruiting genius, then you should have seen the talent in Joe Burrow enough to answer your own question. Yes, Joe Burrow was demonstrably better than what Nebraska had. Now, although I don't know that Joe Burrow would have changed the fortunes of the team, but yes, Joe Burrow was better. Now, we know this because Joe Burrow went on to win a national championship in what may have been probably the single greatest quarterback performance I've ever seen. And then you can say it's irony or coincidence or serendipity or whatever, going to the Super Bowl in year number 2, almost winning with Zach Taylor as his coach. For Scott Frost to miss Joe Burrow, that's a swing and a miss that can't be forgiven. Number 2, the whole throwing up thing. Scott Frost wants to sound tough. He wants to make it seem like if you play for the Huskers, there's going to be some discipline, and there's going to be hard-nosed football, and I guess buckets laying everywhere where players can lean over and start puking. But there's no upside to making that claim. The very next game you lose after making that comment is the game when the opposition coaches or players can rub your face in the proverbial puke that you talked about your players heaving into trash cans as they beat you on a national stage. In fact, the first game to start the season, 2022. The throwing up thing is another reason Scott Frost needs to go. Number 3, the squib kick. The thing about the squib kick is it's bad statistical football. It's also bad optically, but it tells the other team in the game that you don't believe you can win playing it straight. It's like a guy in a back alley rolling dice to win back the money at crazy odds that he lost inside the casino, which was money he should have spent on buying his kids shoes and food and keeping a roof over their heads. And now that same what should have been responsible dad running his household is in a back alley somewhere. Now, it had an effect in the game of telling Northwestern that Nebraska has given up. Their coach has thrown in the towel, which allowed them to run 11 straight times to shave 5 or 6 minutes off the clock as the game was winding down, to force what inevitably became Nebraska backed up at their own 5-yard line. That whole sequence of events began with Nebraska up 11 and Scott Frost throwing up the surrender flag. Number 4, the win-loss record. Now, this is an objective measure, but it's worse than you know. You've probably heard the stats that say things like, so many games in a row, so many losses against ranked opponents, so many one-loss games, so many games within 3 points, so many losses to start a season. But did you know that the last time Nebraska had a 5-year run like this bad was in the late 1950s? Which means unless you're 70 or over, you can't remember, unless you're a grandpa or a grandma, you can't remember the last time Nebraska was this bad. And to put all this into perspective, When you look at the last 20 years, Bill Callahan, not a coach that anybody wanted to see return for another season. Bill Callahan, 56% wins. Bo Pelini was 71%. And even Mike Riley, the guy that Scott Frost replaced, was 50-50. And get this, for Scott Frost to get to 50-50 starting right now, Scott Frost would have to take the Huskers to an 11-0 run to end the season, win the conference, win a bowl game, and then go on to win the first 3 games of 2023 just to get to where Mike Riley finished his career at Nebraska. And reason number 5, the most important reason of all, everyone watching me would be happy to give Scott Frost an extension under certain circumstances, as unlikely as they may be. And if you apply that standard in reverse, then what would you do with someone who underperformed as badly as Scott Frost has as coach? You have to be honest with yourself. I wanted Scott Frost to work. You may have wanted Scott Frost to work. We all want the Huskers to win. And I am not convinced it's over for the team this year. In fact, my next video, as I said, will be about how Scott Frost can pull it out and keep his job. But it's a tough sell. And it's a tough sell, not just for the first 4 reasons I talked about and others you can think about. It's a tough sell because you would extend his contract if he outperformed. What then ought you do if he underperforms? And thankfully, that's on you, not on me. You helped make that decision. So if Scott Frost gets fired, it's your fault. Or something like that. Okay, video's over. Time for me to go to bed, and you probably got something you want to do too. Just want to remind you, subscribe to the channel and email me your mailing address so I can put one of these in the mail to you first thing tomorrow morning. Just subscribe and get a free Casey Thompson rookie card. Once more, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video. But that is if you don't think it sucks too bad to come back. See ya.